Hey, what's going on, guys? Another little bill search video. I've actually been out of cash the last week. So sorry. Haven't really done any bill searches in the last little bit, but here we are. What are we looking for? We're looking for fancy serial numbers, which now looking at it, this one almost is, and I'll talk about that in a second. As well as errors, things that are really rare like gutter folds and super off-center prints, things like miscuts and shifts in the print, kind of wonky stuff. So, let's get to it. All right, so what I'm saying here is this is almost a broken ladder. We got this 9 in here. It would have been cool if it was a 7. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if it was in a lot better condition than this bad boy is. Those can sell for a bit over face value if they are in pretty good condition. If they're graded, then I've seen them sell for closer to like $100 sometimes, depending on the grade. Nothing going on that guy. 2017 A $5 note. These were redesigned in the early 2000s, like this $10 note I tossed out of the way just a second ago. So anti-counterfeiting measures were kind of the reasoning for that. Nothing really going on except for a small shift up in the seals and serial numbers. Also really beat up. Sweet depiction of the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Sometimes you can get a little bit of bleeding going on between the black and kind of the white border of the lettering in the United States of America. If it's dramatic, you can hold on to that, I guess. Yeah, kind of cool. 584, 58405. Would have been cool if it was kind of repeating all the way through, or like 5s on the end, or something like that, but close. Really beat up, been folded up, and definitely seen its day. 2017 series. Nothing going on there. 2003A, so the oldest one we've seen so far. It's actually in surprisingly not as bad of condition as you would expect for a 20-year-old bill. Kind of at the higher end of the print. There was a lot printed in 2003 and 2003A. This one, it's going to be hard to tell if there's anything collectible because the condition is pretty beat up. Moving on, 2013. 2013 Star Notes from the B series are going to be ones that can have a duplicate, so keep an eye out on those, for those. Star Notes, of course, in general. Yeah, a little bit of missing ink around Annuit here, but a lot of the time that's just damage. In this case, it is kind of a little bit of bleeded ink, or just a lack of ink. But not really dramatic, but I don't really see too much stuff on the reverse notes in a lot of videos for you guys, so that's a good thing to keep an eye out for. Lots of 7s, some 2s, but nothing really collectible in this guy. Little bit of a wet ink transfer. You can kind of see Washington from when they were printed and cut and stacked. 2017A. Shift over a little bit. But unless it's kind of sitting off the word one, I don't really ever hold on to those. What in the world? That's kind of funky. It looks like it's anti-counterfeit pen of some sort. It doesn't really look like the right tone of ink, but you let me know. I'm not going to hold on to it. This looks more like a highlighter or something. Yeah, a little bit of lack of ink there. It's just from when the rotary dial that does the serial numbers during printing. Sometimes it'll get jammed up. Sometimes it just has a lack of ink. Things of that nature. So a little funky stuff. Unless it's dramatic, I don't really hold on to them. Reverse side of the note, cool depiction of the U.S. Treasury building. In person, it's really bland looking. However, it's a really cool tour you can go on with a couple of the buildings. They're all in that area. So you should check that out if you're ever in D.C. Probably the best condition note so far. Everything else has been jacked up. This one's a pretty near mint $10 note. Nothing in the serial number. Lots of 4s going on. Back of the note, printed really nicely too. So it is actually folded up. It was hard to tell on the front actually, even looking at it in person here. And nothing going on. You can kind of see a bunch of the fibrous materials. I always think that's kind of cool. And you can kind of see here how that seal's just really heavily printed on the note. So a little bit of excess of ink, but I don't really hold on to them unless the whole thing's kind of bleeding through. Oh, neat. Okay, so kind of... Oh, all right. Hey, actually in order. Cool. All right, so let me see if I can fit those in. There we go. These are not going to be worth over face value, but one, they're in really nice condition. These are 2021 notes, so newer, and they are shifted pretty far over, so they're almost, it's kind of a misaligned cut rather than a shifted print, I would say. But you can see how far they're shifted over, but I think this is a good example of A, condition. Both these notes are really, really nice. Even with the little grab marks from a bank, the bank counting machine, they're still really nice notes. They're not wavy, they're not folded, they're not really dinged up. The corners are nice is a big thing. And the print's really, really clear. So not to keep throwing it in your face, but you can kind of see it a little better as I hold it closer to the camera. Everything's real clear, the signatures and the print of the overall note, as well as there's not much bleed of the black to white outline of the lettering, and just general condition. Also, the shift on the note's kind of neat. If it was really sitting a bit further on this side, almost to the edge, I would have definitely held on to it, especially if both of them were. But I don't see anything super collectible aside from that. The back of the note's less shifted, albeit a little bit. Not as bad as the front. Probably the same here, yep. So a little bit of a shift action to the left, but not enough for me to hold on to that. But definitely keep an eye out for shifted prints. I think those are really neat. You know, I'm actually going to hold on to them till the end. We'll just keep it as a little small find, but hey. Anyway, moving on to the totally opposite end of the spectrum. This totally beat up, but little edge of a counter stamp there. $1 note from 2013. Nothing in the serial number. Print's pretty decent. Counter stamps are just like when they receive the strap of notes, they stamp it to show reception, or if they do transfers and stuff. And sometimes they try to stamp it across the little strap that goes across it, but we'll miss. And damage to the back, hard to tell. 2017A, this one's not bad condition. Print's really nice. And some wet ink transfer, but pretty normal. 2013, I think we're down to like the last couple of notes, so thanks for sticking with me on this bill search. A little bit of damage going on. It's been wet. You can tell from the discoloration, bleed from like a pocket or a wallet. 2017. Nothing going on there. I'm going to zoom in slightly for you. There you go. Guess I could have done that like the beginning of the video. And nothing going on there. So, bam! Last but not least, $5 note. After the early 2000s redesign. They're talking about redesigning all the notes. So I think they released the list of the dates they prospectively are going to do the redesigns through the next like 30 years or some weird amount of time. Anyway, real beat up, nothing really going on. Again, these bad boys are not really worth over face value, but I think they're great examples of a misaligned cut. Some would say it's a shifted print, but I think it's more of a misaligned cut is what this is going to be. But either way, it's quality error to keep an eye out for. So let me know what you think about these. Hopefully you've actually found the real one. And you're sitting on good money or something you can send in and get graded and add to your collection. But as always, let me know in the comments below what you've come across in your coin and banknote, your collectible searches. If you buy up auction storage units, then I love that kind of stuff, so let me know. I will see you there, and I will see you in the next video.